Here is the system details. Over here it says system details. Alright, so this one is system check. So this one, yeah, so you can actually run your check. Okay, and then after that, to see whether the thing is okay or not. Okay. So system check, you can just do it anytime. First of all, perform a visual check.
Visual check.
Just check the machine, right? Everything is okay. So you just select okay. Right. Next one is to perform a hammer in the last position. Press the start button on the screen, release the hammer, verify that it's 0 after one swing.
So you just will, if you put
yeah, just try one swing.
one swing.
Yeah. Okay, so what we do is just press this. Okay. Okay, so minus 0.1, about 0 lah.
Okay lah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a second test, perform with 0 swing. Okay. The last one is the windage and friction loss. Okay, so if you look at the standard, they say you must likely swing 6 times.
6 times to swing from 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6. Okay, the software will count for you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, right. Last time you had to count yourself. The software will count for you. Yeah. Okay. So important thing is must press and hold.
Press and hold. Okay. One, the green button.
Yes, correct. Because when you press and release, you will auto go back. Alright. So you must press and hold. Let it swing 6 times.
Along the 6 winding time.
Correct. So you will see over here that you will count. Okay. So same thing. I will start. Okay. So over here, I will press. Okay, so you see 1 count, 2 count, 3 count, 4 count, 5.
So we don't need to press this
No need,
button
yeah.
for this 6.
Yeah. No. So now it's already count 6. So it will give you the result. So after you finish, right, you just press. Yeah. So usually I'll press it at the very top, so you don't have the long return. Okay, so it'll tell you pass or fail.
The maximum tolerance for the 0 swing result and windage, how much?
Okay, we set it at 0.4%.
0.4%.
0.4%.
0.4%.
0.4%. Yeah, 0.4%.
0.4. And the 0?
0 is close to 0.
I mean the tolerance.
There's no tolerance. There's no tolerance. It just says that it's good. Energy absorbed is 0 after one swing. Okay, and then this one, if it's more than the setting of 0.4, then it will come up and says the thing is too high lah. Okay, so this one is for the checking.
If there is something, more than 0.4%,
then
what should we do?
That's why we need to balance the machine.
Balance.
Yeah, so that's why now the balancing we will make sure we check. Yeah, and then we also need to make sure it's tightened. Yeah. Okay, so that is the windage. Then this is the machine setup. Okay, so this one will set the latch angle. Right, it will tell you the steps if you want, because now it's already set, right? But if you want to set it, then you follow the step here.
Oh, we don't have to. You already
Yes, already set. Right? So if you want to set the latch angle, it's very simple. Remove any specimen, rise and latch. When the hammer is latched, then press the set latch angle. That's all.
I think we'll contact you later if we need to set it up later.
Yeah, okay.
Fundamentals.
Okay, then after measure the swing, remove any specimen, raise, latch, start this screen, and then press the release hammer on the instrumentation. So this one will do the calibration now. Yeah. Okay, so this one is after you rig up and make sure everything is okay, then you can do one more round of this.
What is
this? This is the calibration, right? Measure the swing friction.
Measures.
Yeah, so we just remove any specimen, raise, start the calibration button, press and release the instrument.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is, you know, just to calibrate the swing friction.
And it's result the 0.7, and then after that.
After that, you calculate its own new value. Yeah.
Is there any tolerance also from this? No.
No. Okay. Right. So usually you will not come to here.
Okay.
Once you set it up, you see this machine. Once you set it up, is okay.
Okay.
Right. The rest of the time is just doing the
This
system check.
Yeah, that we usually do like this. I mean,
Yeah.
the system checks.
Yeah.
We don't go to
You don't
the
go to
machine.
machine setup. You don't have to come to it every time.
We will contact you if you need.
Yeah. Okay. Then this is just administrative, right? System check. Where you want to do it now. You can do it daily. You can, you know.
Oh, it is for the system
correct,
checks.
yeah.
It's daily or.
Yeah, correct. Whether you want it to be done daily or login or software login or software startup. Yeah. Okay. Allow operators to perform machine setup, which is this. So inside here later you see there's a security. There's a security that you can have, administrator and operator. Okay, so operator will not be able to do machine setup. Yeah. Okay. Then after this is a live display. Over here, right? You can change the unit. You can change the number of decimal point. Okay. Right. So this is to set up a live display, and then this is just service. This for us. Okay. This is to perform the 100 swing and all this.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, right. So this is on the frame itself. Okay. All the settings. All right. So system check, machine setup. Okay. This is administrating. Okay. Information is over here. What you have. Key code, the software. Right. It's all in the software over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so there's the key code is okay. So if you need to uninstall everything is there. Okay, so also connect security. This is the one that you can then say you want administrator and student, for example, for your site. So you can set up a user, administrator, then after you set up student. Okay, so student can only do the test. Okay, so they cannot do anything else. Then
Even to system checks, they cannot do that.
Yeah, you cannot do the machine setup.
Oh, you cannot.
Okay, because system check is just like doing a test, so it's no problem. Yeah, but you want them to touch the machine setup. So that is why over here, machine setup, allow operator to perform machine setup. It's not enable.
Yeah.
So it is enable or disable?
This is disabled.
Disable.
Yeah. So if you disable, then operator, the student can come to play around with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's security. If you once you turn it off, sometimes people forget the passcode. The next moment they call me, what's the password? I don't know. I tell you. Okay. So security, you can, if you want, I can show you. Okay. You come to here, administrator name, username, blah blah blah, and then password.
Okay.
Okay. After you create administrator, then you create operator. Yeah. Operator, you can change and say, student, blah blah blah, and then give them a common password, right? Once you do that, save. Every time you log in, you must key in the key code.
Okay. Every time we log in with this.
Yes. Every time you start up the software, you have to select whether student or administrator. Okay. If this is student, then you have to put in the key code. Administrator, you got to put in your own key code. Yeah.
Jadi sekarang masih belum belas.
Masih nggak ada.
Masih nggak ada.
So this still all administrator, right?
Correct. Yes. All right. So if you go in, like for example here, you just see all this. You just set up. After finish, then you add the user again. Okay. Over here later you'll see the add another user. Then after you just set up accordingly. Right. So once you have administrator, you can set up more administrator or add other user. Yeah. Okay, so then this is the preference. Default screen setup is a home screen, very simple. This is automatic linking. Okay, you will start with test _1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then starting counter is 1. This is, you can run it in demo mode if you want to. Demonstration mode, yeah, then you don't need a machine.
Oh, so the arm will not swing.
Yeah, you just see the thing moving by itself, right? Yeah, so if you want, you can take the software, sorry. You can take the software, install on your computer.
Oh, yeah.
After that, you just come to up preference and then you just put demo mode. So with demo mode, you don't need the machine. Okay, you still see the hammer up and down, swinging and everything. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, so this English language. Okay, this is measuring device. If you have those, so if you don't have that, then no preference. Okay, database, you don't have this trend tracker. Trend tracker is for Q, maybe a QA testing lab. So they will store all the results and then look at the trend. So there's no need here. Okay, this one is configuration. So again, over here, this is the data I showed you at the back.
Yeah.
On the door, right? So encoder is always 10,000, hammer length 0.762, arm mass 11.29. All right. So the hammer mass, right, must add up to 71.850. Remember A plus H.
Yes.
So A plus H must be this. So this minus this, that will give you a hammer mass. So this is A, H. This is A plus H.
A plus H.
Yeah. Okay. So if you need, then you can change over here. Okay, but it should be default lah. This is a maximum windage and friction loss, right? This is the one that you can change. Okay, so this.
I think we don't have to change this right now.
This one you don't have to change it because it's always fixed. Just in case if you reinstall the software, then you need to come back here and do a configuration. Okay, so this is MPX hammer with removable weights, right? There is also other selection over here. Fixed hammer or removable weights. Okay, so this is the one you should be selecting. Okay, so you just need to add one configuration. Right, so this is the only configuration you need, unless there's some other machine, then you can add new configuration. Okay, then this is transducer not in use. Okay, because you're using just a hammer, there's no load cell on the hammer. Okay, so this part you don't bother. Okay, so very simple. This is just a setup for your administration page. So go to home. Okay, method test. Okay, so let's say for example I go to test first. Okay, I can create a new test. Okay, create a new method, browse method. Okay, so this is going to your test, but I show you the method first. Method, you have to create a method. Okay, so method, E23 Chappie method or the ISO 148 method. Okay, so you can select one of these as a template. Okay, so for example, I'm using E23, right? So I open up this. Okay, so you all the information which is over here, you can just change it. So, but just I go back again because I don't want to confuse. Okay, so first of all, if I come to test, you see there's no method to select. Okay, so I'll go back to create a method. Okay, I'll go to method. I can use, this is called the template. Okay, I can open up one of the template and edit and then save the method. Okay, so it's just like a form, right? A blank paper or a existing form. I open up a form, fill in, save as my document. Yeah, so it works the same way. So this is like an empty form. So I go E23, right? This is if you're doing E23 Chappie test, okay, then you select the unit, okay. So if you want SI, you just say FI. Sample size is open. Open means to say there's no number. But if I put 5, after 5, it will end the test. So this is one sample. Next one, another sample. So if I put define 5, okay, after 5 tests, you will end the test. Open, you will continue going.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So this is predefined or open.
So it means it's it belongs to one result, one sample,
Yeah. So some
five sets.
correct. So some people they want to separate them out.
Yeah.
So
Usually
they say
use like 3 set.
correct. Right. So they can say okay 5 piece. After 5 piece, automatically you will end. Okay. After that's the next 5 piece. After 5 piece, you will end. Yeah. Okay. So this is the setup. You can change the description over here. You can just change it if you want to. Press on the pencil. Okay. Come to here, and then you change all this, all the information over here. All right. So this button, okay, is to change the prompt. Like is it here? Test method name.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is the same thing, right? You can change the prompt test. Yeah. Test method description. Yeah. Okay. So if you don't want, okay, you can press the reset. You go back to the default name. Alright. Okay. So this is just to talk about the method itself. This is the input.
Kalau mahasiswa yang bisa jadi bahasa
Okay, so these are the input material information. Okay, other informations that you want to enter. Okay, so if you're doing some testing that you need to reference back, then you just enter all these material code, material log, material supplier, blah blah blah, conditioning, temperature. Yeah. Okay, then these are additional input if you want. Okay, but for your environment, I think it's just student testing. There's no need for additional. If you want additional, okay, enter a prompt. Okay, so enter the prompt. Say one more class. Okay. Yeah. So they have to the student have to enter the class, or you can say our student name. Yeah. Okay. So material, all these are by default Okay. The input these are, something that you can set up.
You want to put like this is class like class A, so this is like this.
Okay. So this one is in a test. The student will input. Okay.
di tesnya nanti, Pak.
Yeah, so this is material, and then that is the sample user input. You can add all this dimension, right? D notch, description, the dimensions, right? So these are according to the ASM standard, right? 10 by 10, the notch is 8 mm. Okay. Span is always 40.
The span is
The span is between the two support.
okay.
Okay, so you can see over here. See, this is the span.
Jarak,
This is the
thickness.
right? This is the width. This is the ligament, right? Ligament length. Okay, so you can see over here. Okay, so again, specimen, right? So specimen is talking about individual one. Okay, individual one. If let's say you have additional information for individual one, then yeah, you add individual. Okay. Okay, these are the break type. So you have to go to E83, right? Okay, E83 will give you the different break type. Okay, no break, no break. Then of course you have the break S or something, right? Okay, and then also if you need to describe the appearance, Okay, 10%, 20%, the picture. Okay, you can set it up over here. Alright. Okay, so this is talking about your sample and your specimen.
The appearance, so the picture,
Yes.
we take the photo and then we put it here.
You can put it here, yeah, if you want to lah. Appearance, you can say 10%. Okay, yeah. Oh, sorry. This one is appearance. I'm not used to this on-screen keyboard.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for here touch screen. It's not fast as keyboard.
Yeah. I mean, for testing it's okay,
Yeah.
but when you're trying to do this work, I think it's easier to do the. Okay. So this is appearance. We put it back, right? So this one we might say okay. Okay, 10%. Enter add item. Okay. Right. You can then image appearance. You can take a shot and then browse and put the image over here. 10%, another 20%, 30%. Because if you look at E23, right, there's a chart and with a picture. Yeah. Okay, so you can then select these. So they can then select, oh, what's your image, appearance. Okay. Right. So okay. Right. Next one is the results. Okay. So the results are all over here. Okay, so available results are expand, machine property, okay, these are already the selected results. Alright, so usually what you want is absorb energy, peak energy, percent of energy, okay, and these are uninstrumented and these are additional if you want to put there.
What does it mean? Uninstrumented result.
Which one?
What does it mean uninstrumented result?
Uninstrumented is talking about the hammer, there's no load cell. Yeah, so uninstrumented, so when you say there's no load cell on the hammer to measure the force. Yeah.
The percent of machine energy.
Yeah, so it calculate, because your machine is 450.
450, okay?
Yeah.
450 joule, right?
450 joules, so if you do test 45 joules, 45 joules is 10% of machine energy. Yeah, so because the standard says that you shouldn't exceed more than 80% of machine energy. Right?
Goyang.
Kursi.
So yes. Sorry. Okay. So
But we usually set for the result for absorb energy, right?
yeah, usually you want the what is the absorbed energy. Yeah. So those that you don't want, you can just move it away.
Oh.
Okay. And these are the things available, you just move it. Yeah. And then these are the description and all those things. Oh, okay, thank you. Sorry. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, so these are all the results that you can select. Alright, you can change all the units, you can change the number of decimal points, and you can then also put in the criteria. Okay, like for example, your absorbed energy, what is supposed to be within what value. Okay, so if you put this, if you set up this, then in the result you will go up or down if it's exceeding.
I mean, I think we usually just use absorb energy and the others.
You can take it away, yeah. So we can take it this. Okay, then if you don't want the criteria, then disable. So you just take the absorb energy. Okay, other than that, everything else you don't need, then you just leave it. Okay, unless you say you want other things, you just put it over. This is just the statistics. Okay, this is just to show you the format, how it looks like on the result table. Okay, so if they have two result table, you can select.
Oh, we can choose which one.
Yeah, you can have two different result table to maybe using different unit. Okay, so one table will show more information, the other one will show other information. So you have two different tables that show different units or different details. Yeah, so if you don't need this, you just leave it empty. Okay, because later we come to something we call the layout. Then you can choose one table, two table. Okay, so this one if you don't want, you just leave it. Otherwise, they are exactly the same. Okay. Okay, gauge, right, is a big, the old one, there's a big round dial gauge. This one, there's no gauge, right? So there's a digital dial gauge, later it comes up. This is the dial gauge.
But this machine doesn't have gauge.
Yeah, no, they will show you a gauge later. I'll show you later, okay? So this is talking about the dial gauge that is shown on the software. Okay, so there is the gauge setup. Absorb energy, analog, digital. Okay, then later I'll show you.
Oh, it will show when we test. Okay.
Okay.
It will show in this monitor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that one is on the machine, but because this one don't have, so they show another diagram over here.
Understood.
Yeah. Okay. Then this is pass fail, you know. Right? You can say whether is it pass or you fail based on the criteria. Okay.
But I think we don't put.
You don't have all these,
right?
yeah. Okay, because you don't have the criteria.
We don't.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just a result. The next one is your graph. So the control chart, you can choose that whatever you want. Okay, specimen and versus absorbed energy. Okay, grid, title, you want to have another more axis over here. Then there's two axes.
So if you don't want to put the
Then you
graph,
just leave it as default. As default. So again, at the layout, you can choose.
we can choose
Yeah.
which
Whether it shows up or not. Yeah. Okay. There's two graphs if you want to. Okay. Then after that, the last one will be operator input. Okay. So operator input, right? Remember just now we says we have a class.
Okay, so
There's a class. So when I start, they will need to enter all this information.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
So before we start, we enter.
You enter all this information.
Not in here.
Not in here. Because if you enter here, then it becomes a default value.
Okay.
Every time you open up, class maybe 1A. Open up again, class 1A, 1A, always there. Okay. So anything that you enter over here, right? Anything that you enter here, okay, becomes a default. Yeah. Okay, so operator input, right? So anything that you want the operator to enter, okay, you can put it here. Then the operator will need to enter. You can say view access only, mean to say they will only see the data. They will not change it. Yeah. Okay. So right, anything that you want to change, you can all open over here. Right, just put it. Right, so this is the operating input. Now we talk about the layout. So this is the layout. So this is the basic. You can choose whichever format you want. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. If you just want the graph, just select this. Only a graph will appear. Okay, but if you want the result, only the result will appear. Okay, and then so on and so forth. Okay, so this is the dial gauge. And then later you see the graph over here. Okay, so this is the format. If you want, you can then customize yourself. Okay, you can split it up this way. Then after that, you can then select and say, okay, graph 1. Here, graph 1. Okay, this one, graph 2. And then this one, the page. Okay, then after that, okay, right. So this one becomes your customer. Okay, you can also
Save maybe? No. Oh.
So you can then change the proportion. So that is custom. No one, you just go back and select your preset. Okay, everything goes back to the normal, right? Okay, so this is the place where you say what I want to show and what I don't want to show. Okay, basic, again custom, review. Okay, review is the analysis. Okay, so that's the layout. Okay, that's the output. Okay, output, save to PDF format. Yeah. Okay, then the rest you don't want now. You want to print and everything. Okay, this is a table. So this remember this is a default table. Default table you can have all this information over here in the table. Okay, because when you print out, okay, you have all the table, your calculation, your like all this information will be printed. Okay, so if you want the material
for every specimen.
for the whole sample, or for the whole test, I would say for the whole test.
I mean, if you for just for this sample and the second sample will have like not this report also, or it will be.
No, like from the one sample, 5 tests, you will see 5 rows.
Oh, okay. 5 rows.
5 rows, yes. So this is based on sample size. Once you finish one test, it's considered one sample. So if you continue testing, then multiple.
More rows.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so you have to then say, how many tests you want to, how many samples you want to do. Okay. So these are the things that we printed up in the table. Okay, anything you don't want is you can remove it. Okay. So this one you can export to CSV file if you want to. Okay. Table header, export number 2, export number 1, they are the same, except you can change the for this one. Okay, I can say I want to export only the result table 1. Result table 2 I don't care, the rest I don't care. Okay. Export is always a CSV file if you want to export. Yeah. So what you get is all the, just now we only selected the absorbed energy. So when you export, you only export the absorbed energy. Yep. Okay, so this one is generally 1 file per specimen. So it means there's 1 sample, 1 folder. Second specimen, 1 folder.
I mean, like if you have a test like 4
Yeah.
5, this is for 1 sample.
Yeah, so it will come out as one file.
1 folder, there is
Only one CSV file. Okay, but if you say individual, then you have 1 CSV file for 1 CSV file for 2, 1 CSV file for 3, 4, 5. So you all together have 5 CSV file. Yeah, so this one is to generate 1 each. Okay?
1 each. This.
Yeah, this means 1 piece.
Okay.
So it says generate 1 file per specimen.
Or if you click this.
If you click this, then
If not, it's
all into 1 file. Yeah. Okay. You can override the default location. Okay.
Yeah.
If for this one you can change you want to override the default. Otherwise they will go to the default. Okay. I'll show you where the default location is. This is the preview how it looks like. Okay. Header, all the columns. Right. Okay. So that is your output. Okay. So this is the prompted test. Prompted test is good when, say for example, you are dealing with student. Okay. Student enter the details for sample. Okay. You don't have to enter the rest of the information, right, until you finish. Okay. So enter sample what you want them to enter. So for example, just now where the sample input the class. Okay, so during this starting of the sample, they will enter in the class. After that, you will continue to test. All these will not be asked again. Right? So you see the flow. I start with a new sample. These are all the information they need to enter. Once I start the test, I don't have to enter this anymore because it looks back. Okay? After you look back. So after you finish the sample, when you press the finish, you will come to this sample review and go to finish. Okay? So this one nothing. Okay, finish sample. Again, this will be automatically done for you. So what you do is browse for the file template, save the PDF file and the test comment. Okay, so if you don't want all this, okay, so when you press finish, it will generate just a PDF format. Okay, so start sample, all the information, test. Finally, when you press finish, only
Video.
yeah. Okay, of course, again, you have other things. If you want, you can set it. Okay, so that when you press finish, all this will be come up and prompted. Okay, so this is what we mean by prompted test. Okay, but if you say then no more prompted test. Everything open up, the test screen is there. You just do testing, right? But if you say I want to run a prompted test, then you can then set what are the things you want to be prompted. Okay, right? So for example, in the case where you need to enter information for each specimen, then you say default test enter specimen information. So this is a place where you say, okay, enter the specimen dimension or the appearance or the code or something. So you come to here and you enter all the information requested over here. Test, come back to here, enter the second. Test. Okay, so you just go according to how they look, then you will have a rough idea. Okay, so this is already the method. So after here I say CS. Okay, home. Okay, finish, test. The method will come over here. But of course, if you save your method some other places, then you can always go browse for the method. You can browse for other, because sometimes you might say, oh, I want to copy, put on the thumb drive, then you can then browse on the thumb drive. Because sometimes they delete, they change or something, right? You back up all your test method, you just put it back and call back.
For the default template of the method, I mean the 5, it's where is it saved?
Install example.
Install example.
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
yeah. Okay, demo choppy, blah blah blah. Also, all these are the default template lah. Okay. Okay, so once you've done that, right, I can go to student. And this is all the information that I need to enter. I must press before test to go to the next stage, right? So I go before test. Okay, right. So now it says ready, hammer release. Okay, so because right now it's prompted lah, so after you do the test, then the thing will comes up, right? So now if I say I come back to here, I can also change it as no test sequence. Yeah. Okay, so I already disabled the prompted test. Okay, and you see there's no prompt, so we come to the test. Yeah, so you remember our layout. I can change the layout from here, set up from here, or I can press on this. Okay. Okay. So if I press on this, I can edit layout. Yeah. Okay, I press on
The layout of,
it's the same as here.
I mean, what layout? The layout of the report or
The layout of the test screen.
the layout of the monitor?
Yeah. Okay, so you can come to here to select, or you can do it over here on the screen itself, right? You can also move. Okay, right. So after you finish your test, then you just press finish. Okay, then you generate a PDF report for you. After that, they say the method has been modified, whether you want to save or not. If not, then you can start changes. Because once you move something, change something, then when you try to exit, the software will say you change the method. Do you want to save or not? Okay, so if you don't want, you say no. Okay, then the method will remain. Okay, so that's our test. Okay, this is analysis. Analysis is just that if you have tested before. Okay, you can open up and then change everything. Okay, you might want to change the method, you might want to change the graph, you might want to change the result for more details.
We can change the method even though the test already
Yeah, you can.
conducted.
Yeah, you can change it in the analysis, and then you save your method again. Okay, so you test already, analysis, and you find, oh, this is no good, this is no good, this is no good. Just change, come to method, and you say save as. Yeah, because say for example your results, right? You want more results. Okay, you have more results. So, oh, this is the method I want to use from now on.
Okay. Also, you mean I want to display more detailed result, so I change the method. Yeah. Even though the test was already done.
Yes. So that after I change, okay, after I change, right? The sample setup have changed, and I have another new method that I can use from now on. Okay. Right. So this is just nothing but your analysis. Okay. So from here. Okay, so from here you can just save the new report. Okay, so this one is the report template. You see, there's a new tab over here, the report. You can have the header. Okay, you can have the body and say, okay, in the report, I don't want the sample name. Okay, you want the report table, which is this. Okay, if you want the default table, okay, you can then move the table. So your test date at the top, default table here, your graph one, if I say there's a graph, your graph over here, page break, then after that, result, table number 1. Okay,
We can change
all the format and everything.
The logo itself.
The logo you can change it.
Header. In header.
So the inside will be logo. So let me see where's the logo. See, inside logo, right? So you just browse and put in your body's logo over here. Yeah, so once you finish your template, then you say save as your template. Okay, and say for example right now I go back to home, save, no, discard changes. Okay, so I go back to just now my method. Okay, then I can come to report. Okay, and then I can then specify, do all the changes. Okay, and then after that at the output. Okay, you can then change the template. Right? So you set the report, save the template, then after you come to here and then you select the template that you created. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah. Also, it's just basically all this thing. In fact, the test is just basically selecting what you want to see, rather than like UTM, right? You need to calculate like modulus, U, all this. Then you need to do a lot of input. But this is just basically selecting what are the results you want to see. There's no need for you to generate additional calculation or everything. Right? So it's just what is the format you want and how you want to look like and things like that. Basically.
pick what data that we want to show.
Correct. Yes, and then how you want to create a test so that the student can use.
About the method, is there any? what is the difference? I mean, with ASTM A23 and the
ISO?
ISO.
Okay, if you want, you can see now, because if you go to the, this is Chapi, yeah. So Chapi SI open, okay, all the information are basically all the same. There's really no difference.
No difference at
No
all.
different. Yeah. Probably maybe I don't know, maybe it's just because everything I do is I don't know, I haven't really compared the ISO and the ASTM. What is the real difference? Okay, I don't know, maybe ISO doesn't have an appearance, I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, other than that, you see, basically everything else is more or less the same. Really no different.
The important things like the temperature when the test is conducted. I mean, like minus 20 degree and
Correct. Correct. Those.
After that, there is no difference at all.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
Okay, so we try.
Yeah.
We try to generate. We try to test and generate the report.
Yeah. Okay. So if you were to look at here, okay, how to install a specimen over here, I think you know. Starting out the system. Okay, maintenance is over here. Then installation. There's one more. There's a software. So for example, if you say you forgot, right? There's a Bluetooth Impact software on the screen. Okay, you can see from here. Or say for example, you are using a method. You are using this method, and say for example, you're over here. You're not shown on the screen. F1. This one, I'm not sure where to get the F1. There's a function key F1.
Yeah.
So if I say on this screen, if you press F1, the help on this screen will come up. Right? When you go to graph, you press F1 again. Okay, anything on this page will show up on the help. Yeah, so it's much easier way to reference. I don't have to always refer to the manual.
What's the question mark?
Your question is the same thing, it's the help.
Oh.
Yeah. So you have a few places, you can press on here, the help search about it, or over here you just press F1, the thing will come up. I'm not sure where I know the final.
Maybe just click the question mark here.
Actually, basically, I find.
Is it different?
There's a half a keyboard on each side. So there's a full keyboard. F1 on the graph. Okay, so I go to operator, I go to, for example, layout. Okay, then I go to F1 layout. Yeah, so it's much easier in that way because if I press on the question mark, right, I still need to go in time the topic and search for the information.
lagi.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so you guys want to do something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should try.
Yeah.
Ayo, Mas Bro.
Pak.